I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And we're good to go. Alright, everybody, welcome back to another week of this questionable quality podcast. I think it's fair to say that. That's a pretty accurate description. We're going to be doing a lot of things today, going over comments. We're going to talk about the BSL. We're going to talk about motivation. And we're going to talk about some other things, if we have time, that are a little bit less serious, a little bit silly, but I think it's a fun conversation to have. First things first, unfortunately, we were supposed to have some footage of Frosty's today. He recently found out that he has terrible upload. So it's literally not possible for him to shoot me his footage in time for the upload tomorrow morning. So next week is when we're gonna get to see some Frosty footage. Unfortunately, this week you just get more Manchwom's grind with your boy Rezlar. Would also like to point out here, I did this just for Piotr. You can see at the top left of my buffs that I have both my 200% going as well as loot scroll burning. I have my pets on active. And my Oxstone is on, so we're just going to leave all that going while we sit here and read comments. Piotr, that's just for you, baby. I know you love it.
You're a monster. By the way, next week when I do my fancy recording, some of it will be PvP. I was grinding on Arsha Crescent Shrine and recorded myself for about 35 minutes, and I would say 25 minutes of that is me defending myself 2v1 against a Zerker and a Wizard. And then the rest will probably be history.
Yep,
So, yeah.
yep. And just so everybody knows, Frosty was completely on board with this idea of burning things while we sit here and read comments until I got to the Oxstone. That was where he drew the line.
You have a Vel's heart, man. That's precious. That's a precious resource that does not come easy. I get the item scrolls. They just hand those out, but they don't hand out mystical spirit powder, okay?
They do when you grind Manchwoms, man.
Dude, barely. Half as much as they used to.
Alright, let's jump straight into comments. First and foremost, we did get some topics off of the Discord today, so make sure if you want a higher chance of your topic being seen, and, well, not being seen, but being taken, I suppose, because the first thing we do when deciding content, or not content, I suppose content, topics, is we go to the Discord and kind of see what people are talking about, what is possible for us to do. Make sure you go join the Discord and just hang out with us in there, have some discussion, have some ideas about what we can talk about, have some ideas about the game in general. And probably this week, since I'm not node warring this week, maybe Frosty will be able to do it, maybe not. Maybe we can do it on an off day for Black Rose. We might do some sort of community event in there where we just kind of get as many people in Discord as possible and just kind of about whatever we want. Class balance, desync, maybe, I don't know, pay to win, just whatever we feel like. So we might do that sometime this week. I'd like to anyway, but we'll see. Anyway, let's just jump right into it as it was. Small Dick Stole Your Girl says, would love to get more insight on Musa 1v1 PvP and PvE. Shaky Bay might be perfect for that, as well as get a little drama going maybe. Shaky Bay, if we did have Shaky Bay on, it would be mostly for the drama. I personally don't believe he's that good of a Musa. No offense to Shaky Bay. I don't think he's that good. He could tell us, I think he's above average, even if only slightly, so he could give us the basics, but, I don't know. To get really in-depth, I think I would prefer to have somebody else. No offense to Shaky Bay. Just saying. Austin
Do you have anyone in mind?
I really would like to have Grim, but he doesn't, I don't think he even plays anymore.
He doesn't have a mouth either.
Dude, Grim is so good. I still want to see Grim and Nayashe fight, too. Could you imagine that fight?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm trying to think of good mooses, like off the top of my head that aren't just like gear carried. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. Kind of hard. I'm sure Nayashe has some people that he could refer us to. Austin Lassiter says, I still wish for the day stamina nerfs are reversed. Flex Valk win.
Yeah. You know what's funny? About a month and a half before the CC changes and the stamina changes, there's this guy named Doki3 who I used to watch a lot because he would put up Mystic videos, him PvPing on his Mystic, him PvPing on his Kuno, and back in the day on his DK. But he randomly did a grind video, I guess on a friend's account, on a Valkyrie at Naga's, and it was like ridiculous how fast you could grind on that class right before the nerf. Like the speed was insane. So yeah, that was a dramatic change, especially at places like Naga's or Bandits where you have to travel long distances.
This is iText, by the way, Frosty, just so you know.
Yeah. I got it.
Leon Fitchat. That's probably not how you say that, but that's how I'm gonna say it. Says, Nico buff Kuno.
Yeah, I'm down. Give us that stiffen back.
Ronnie Rasmussen says, didn't they change AoA draws to whoever dealt the most damage wins? I wish! That would be a much better system than what currently exists. But no, currently it is still whoever has more HP at the end of a round wins. And draws are just draws. Nobody gets a point. So.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's actually a cool idea for a change, though.
Yeah, I still don't think it would be perfect, but it would definitely be better than what we have right now. For sure.
It would force, if you're losing the whole time, this is kind of like the implication in some sports too, but if you're losing the entire time, it would force you, think about kind of like UFC or something like that. If you're losing or boxing the whole time and you're just going to lose in the scorecards at the end because you dealt the least amount of damage, it's going to make that last 30 seconds, the loser is going to be trying to go for a knockout. So that actually would make watching it way more entertaining, I think, too, when the time's getting low.
Yeah, honestly, I think in my idea, in a perfect world, AoA would be like, when the time runs out, say it's like a 3-minute match, right? When the 3 minutes are up, like, their HPs are already at 50%, right? It just, right. Their HPs start ticking down, like 1%, like every, like, I don't know, 3 seconds or something. Just a flat percentage of their HP. So their HP just drops and drops and drops and drops until somebody is going to die because eventually they're going to be at 10% and be able to be literally one skilled. Somebody is going to get one skilled.
Yeah, that could work too.
That's what I think it should be, honestly. Force a win from somebody. Shadow's Army says...
Real quick, the problem with the total damage output thing is they'd have to show us damage numbers, and they're anti-religious when it comes to that. That'll never happen. It's against their religion. It's against their atheist religion.
Anti-religion.
Will never happen.
Yeah. Shadow's Army says the debate between Archer and Ranger sounds fun. Would love that. Maybe next week. We'll see about maybe next week. We can get that going. Adam Punton says thoughts of switching feels tense man. Switching mains? So I guess. Rerolling?
Yeah.
Did we talk about rerolling last week?
At the end, we talked about if you could have picked one class to main kind of for your whole career. Yeah, which would it be?
So I guess that's what that is referring to.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Piotr's comment. I'm just gonna try and summarize it. So it's him reading about not being in Goons. Oh wait, he TLDR'd it at the bottom. Revert stamina, buff Valkyrie, and Rezlar hated me enough to not put me on Goon Squad. Well,
he found out you put another Archer on Goon Squad, not him.
Yeah. So you want to know, Piotr? I'll tell you right now, straight up. You want to know why Cinny is on Goon Squad and you're not? Well, first of all, it's because you're not in the guild, but Cinny got on Goon Squad because of this. I'll put it on screen right now so you can see it nice and clearly for everybody to see. That's Cinny's gear. He's a 281 AP archer. That's why. That's just a meme, by the way. I'm not actually that mean. No, I already talked to Piotr about this, but he left literally right before we made Goon Squad 10 people. So back before when it was 5 people, I was like, I don't want an archer because that's going to take away one, like, brawly grab class. And I kind of want 5 brawly grab classes. But now we have 10 people. So now I'm like, we can have, like, 1 or 2 non-brawly grab classes and still be okay. Because we'll still have 8. So we'll be fine. Right. So, I mean, Piotr, I told you straight up, man. Whenever you come back to the guild, you know, I'll make some room for you. We'll make it happen, brother. The Shepherd 112 says, for the next video, can we see Frosty grinding? No, next video. Deal with it.
Next video, I promise.
Also, the new spot might require groups, as from the video I saw of a 330 DP Mystic grinding there alone, you still take a ton of damage, so having multiple people might help for divergence of damage. Also, the new weapon has more than 100 durability as it enhances like a fishing rod.
Does that mean it cannot be repaired, though? Wait, it'll downgrade at plus 10?
I think he just... I don't know. I'm actually not sure. I think he means that it has more than 100 max durability. So maybe it has like 150 or something.
Yeah, but then he added that it enhances like a fishing rod. Which sounds terrible.
No, I think he means the new weapon has more than 100 durability as it enhances like a fishing rod.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So like, as the enhancement level goes up, the durability goes up. I gotcha.
I suppose, yes. I think that's what he means.
Okay.
Nayashi says, for an archer, hit up D Legends. For a he meant to say ranger. He typed tanger. I meant to say ranger. Hit up critical. And then Piotr commented, weird thing, critical is in Hex now and doesn't seem like they know he's a god ranger. Well aware of it. I've fought critical. He's really crazy good ranger.
Yeah, he just doesn't have a microphone that's bearable.
Sunshine Senpai. Listen, there is a lot here talking about ranger mostly. There's no TLDR. I don't feel like reading all of it. So
all right, give me some points. Give me some flash points here. Anything in there that stood out?
He doesn't play ranger anymore. That's what stood out.
Hell yeah. That's all we needed to know.
So I'll tell you what, Sunshine Senpai. I'll meet you somewhere in the middle or something, and I'll just put it up on screen right now. There you go. So everybody can see your comment right there, nice and easy. If you need more time to read it, you can just pause the video. If you're listening to this on a podcasting app, you're shit out of luck. Lost Souls says, nothing much on Ninja today, guys, but should make Ninja have a higher chance of getting Tet Gold accessories.
Yeah, that would be great. Just the Ninja. Although, you'd have to trade something off, so maybe get rid of Ninja Step in exchange for better enhancement rate? I like that idea.
Yeah, get rid of Serpent's Ascension.
Yeah, just remove it completely. They no longer have any float.
Feels bad. Alright, and that does it for the comments. Thanks everybody for leaving a comment. Make sure you leave a comment on this one as well. Make sure, again, that you're joining the Discord. You can leave your feedback in there as well. And come hang out with us, and can't wait to see what the comments are on this one. I'm sure they're going to be lovely from Piotr and other people that are driven crazy by what I am currently doing. So, looking forward to that. Moving on. We got stuff we want to talk about. Frosty, what we got?
Let's see, what do my notes say? Let me grab my monocle. Alright, so first thing is first, we had the BSL this weekend. This is the first week of many weeks of the Black Spirit League. and it was super fun to watch. Anyway, for me, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I watched most of the EU bracket, and then I watched most of what they would let us watch of the NA bracket. And yeah, I had a good time. I was on Discord with a few mutual friends of Rezlar's and mine, and we were watching the games and bantering and complaining about balance, and it was awesome. So I just kind of wanted to go over some of the results, and then I actually had some questions for Rezlar about some of the results. So let's start with EU, since that one was first. I believe the first televised match in the finals was Fuyu Tamer, who you got to see up close and personal. Who's a really, 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 really good Tamer. Like, God, that kid is good. It was really, really awesome to watch him play and just kind of ruffle stomp everybody. And then he ran into FTP, who's AKA FXP, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe he was on Springer's team in the BSL, the 2v2 version, back in the day. And he was also on Springer's team for the Pearl Abyss official tournament. And they got to the EU finals there too. So yeah, it was cool to see him. But Fuyu won 4-2. That match was riddled with draws. Like, what? How many draws were there in that match?
I'm pretty sure there was like 11. Like there was like somewhere around 10, I think.
Yeah. So
Because I think Dr. Positive said that it was like 14 draws total across like both of the EU final matches, and the
Right.
second match only had like 3 or 4. So it was somewhere around like 10.
yeah, it was epic to watch because everyone starts playing safe when the timer goes down. Like the commentators were saying, it's you're fighting for your tournament life and you want to win, and you're trying your best not to throw the game away. So kind of do what you can to win. But yeah, it had become such a problem that there was a rule change for the North American bracket, and basically if you got a draw the next day, every time you got a draw, both players would just be awarded a win. So if someone was in the lead and you kept forcing a draw, the person ahead was just going to win. And
Yeah.
then I think they also did kind of a if you're intentionally trying to get a draw and it's obvious that you're just going to lose a point or be talked to. I believe
No, you'll straight up lose.
yeah, you straight up lose. So
That Dr. Positive said that falls under the sportsmanlike clause, which basically says if you're doing anything that's not sportsmanlike, you'll just automatically lose. So if he or the other staff feel like you're forcing a draw just to meme or whatever, then you'll actually just straight up lose, and they'll just move on.
right. Now, despite there being a bunch of draws, that match was really awesome. Both players played really well. Fuyu came out on top. On the other bracket for EU, the finals was a Sork versus a Sork. It was LLW versus Offen, and LLW, I believe, won 4-3. That was also really good. And even though there were draws in that one, they both were hyper aggressive the entire time. So it was actually really fun to watch.
Yeah, that one ended up resulting in a couple draws just because of the nature of the classes and how people tend to play whenever it comes down to the wire, right? You have Sork versus Sork. Both have a lot of iframes, not just super armors, like actual iframes, and a couple frontal guards thrown in there as well. So once it came down to the wire, HP's dropped to 50%, like 10 seconds left in the match. Both of them were playing so safe that neither of them could hit the other person. So it wasn't like they weren't trying to. It's just that literally they were both playing so safe and doing it so well that they couldn't hit the other person, even though they were trying.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a Sork winner and a Tamer winner in EU, and then in the North American side of the bracket in NA bracket 1, which I don't believe wasn't cast by Dr. Positive or Good Vibes. It was Phoenix, Ninja Phoenix was streaming that, and I don't think there was like play-by-play commentary, but there's a little bit of opinion and stuff. And McCann's won that. Oh, good old McCann's Mandalore beat. I don't know how to actually pronounce this. Ibra or Ibra? Mystic. He beat him 3-0. It was pretty one-sided. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see. I know a lot of people root heavily for McCann's and say he's really good, so it's cool to kind of get to see him come out and prove how good he is. He kind of stomped everyone through the whole bracket. I don't think he really was close to losing to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, people like to meme McCann's, but he actually is one of the best warriors in the game. So it's like, it's not surprising to see him do really well, honestly.
Yeah. I think I forgot to mention that. He was a warrior. So that was Warrior versus Mystic. McCann's won that. And then on the other side of the bracket, we had Inflict, the Zerker versus Laven, which I think a lot of people were a little bit surprised to see Laven make it to the finals. And Laven actually had to get through Block Jump, which is a pretty well-known ninja.
And he crushed him, dude.
And he crushed him, yeah. Laven 3-0'd Block Jump in a ninja versus ninja specialty. And then in the finals, Inflict, a really, really solid Zerker, was able to beat him. What did he beat him? 3-1. Oh yeah, the North American side, I forgot to mention, switched to a best of 5. The EU was a best of 7, but I think
best of in the finals.
In the finals, right? So I think they just kind of sped things up a bit and made it a little bit shorter. So
yeah, they reduced the matches for the sake of time because the EU literally took over 8 hours to complete one day.
Yeah,
which Dr. Positive was expecting it to take like 4 at max. So he was not. By the end of it, he was very, very tired and not super okay.
Right. So as far as the results, I mean, it's hard a little bit to post-game analysis on how they played because it's such a fast-paced thing, but I was kind of curious your thoughts on if you were surprised at all with the classes that won. So we had a Tamer win, a Sork win, a Warrior win, and a Zerker win. And kind of, I know you and we touch on balance all the time in 1v1, small scale, yada, yada, yada. So are you surprised with these results? And are there any classes you were surprised didn't win?
There were a couple things I was surprised about. I was surprised about the lack of mystics in the EU. There was apparently only one mystic in the entire Flight 1 of EU, which was kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also surprised that Maywa, like, there were a lot of Maywas that made it really far in EU, which was really interesting. And then on the NA side, I don't think there was hardly any Maywas that made it very far at all, which was also interesting in its own right. Maybe speaks to the differences in the regions or something. I don't know. Just kind of an interesting thing. As far as am I surprised about the winners? No, not really. All 4 of those classes are like really good 1v1ers. Tamer and Berserker are like S tier 1v1 classes, and then Sork is like right behind them at like A+, and then Warrior isn't too far behind Sork in my opinion at like A-. So they're all really good classes, and yeah, it's not too terribly surprising, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the strikers didn't do too well, but there weren't a lot of, if any, that I can remember anyway, big name strikers in the Flight 1. So
yeah, I noticed that. There was no Ghost Coup, there was no Scissor or SCR. Yeah, I noticed that too. I don't think I recognized any of the strikers off the top of my head. Also, everyone's names were kind of a little bit weird for this because of the trial characters.
Alright.
So it was also hard trying to figure out who was who. But I am definitely not surprised. To be honest, I thought more Sorks were going to get through just because at the gear that you're allowed to use, I thought Sork's damage is high enough to play hybrid. And there's a lot of good Sorks in NA specifically, so I thought we would see that, but no Sorks made it through in NA. And in EU, 2 Sorks did make it to the finals, so yeah, that happened. But no ninjas, no Kunos. There was a ninja in the finals, but he got run over. Actually, it's kind of impressive. I don't know the Zerker matchup specifically versus Kuno and Ninja, but Inflict had to go through a really good Kuno and a Ninja to win the whole thing, which is kind of cool to see. because he didn't play like slouches. He had to fight Kinner. He fought Laven, who beat another really good ninja right before that. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see him do really well.
Inflict is actually... So here's the thing. I have an issue with a lot of berserkers that are in like in-game guilds. A lot of them are very lackluster in their skills, in all honesty, because they're gear carried and they just like... You can see that they used to be good and the knowledge is still kind of there, but they just don't use it because they don't need to, right? My example of this, and no offense if he, ends up watching this or whatever, but my example of this is Kai. Like, I really feel like Kai is not as good as he used to be. He used to be, like, a pretty good Zerker. I don't think he was ever, like, the best, but he was, like, pretty damn good. And then now, like, he's got so much AP that he doesn't need to be good, and he just... Which is understandable, right? It's just kind of going to happen, but he's just not that good anymore. He makes a lot of mistakes. He does a lot of weird things in his 1v1s, but he doesn't get punished for it because he's so geared, right?
Right.
And he's not the only one. There's a lot of them that are like that. I think Inflict is actually a good example of a Zerker who, while he is pretty, like, damn geared, he actually still has retained his, like, level of skill, and he still, like, has it, so to speak. If you know, like, if you get what I'm saying.
Right, he's
like,
got it, dude. He's got the it factor.
He's still, like, he's not slouching on his combos. He still knows how to do all that stuff, and he still does it even though he is super geared. He doesn't do these scuff combos just because he can. So, I actually really like Inflict. I'm glad that he made it as far as he did, even if he is a bit of a fucking meme.
Is he? Why is he a meme? I don't know him. I just know, like, on his stream, he was streaming some of the BSL for a while because the streams weren't up for the first 2 rounds, and he was, like, just kind of a crazy personality. But why is he a meme? I don't know him very well.
Well, that's why, because he's kind of silly. He's just a silly person. From my experience and from what I've heard from people that have, like, interacted with him a lot. I feel like all Zerkers are a little silly on the inside, at least. Like,
certainly on the outside.
Inflict, like, Waco, like, especially the really, really geared Zerkers and, like, Snake and Chonation and shit, like, they're all a little crazy. It's kind of funny, but... So, yeah. But, yeah, he played really well, honestly. He got desynced a lot. I felt the rage whenever Laven desynced out of not 1, but 2 grapples in a row. In, like, the last, like, the round that was gonna be Inflict's win. I was sitting there being like, if Laven actually wins this because of those fucking desync grabs, like, I am gonna be so mad, and I'm not even the one who's affected by it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like to get too into the desync grab thing, because, like, there's 2 sides to it, right? Like, when you see the animation go off, sometimes, like, I know this as, like, a Sork. Like, obviously, there's times where the grab goes off and you're just like, wait, that poor Zerker, like, that sucks, in a certain situation. And then there's other times where the grab goes off, like, clearly during an iframe, and you go rewatch the replay and you're in an iframe and you're still stuck in their hand, but on your screen you're away from them, and then you get teleported back and you're in their hand. So it kind of goes either way, so it's hard to say. Like, from the spectator's point of view, I think there was a lot of desync on things that were hard to tell if you weren't from the player's point of view. So, for example, yesterday the Sork one from EU, the Sork v Sork, Benzi sent me this video, a short clip of the 2 Sorks fighting in one of the matches, Benzi Bays, and he was like asking me what skill knocked this Sork down. And I, like, watched the replay, and the Sork uses Shadow Leap to get behind the other Sork, and the other Sork doesn't even cast an ability, and it just looks like after the Shadow Leap, the Sork trips on the stairs and falls to the ground. And I'm like, I have no idea. How did he fall right there? It made no sense. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, it kind of sucks. There was a lot of it too yesterday.
Yeah, so I think it's a mixture of things, right? First of all, you have trial characters. Call it tinfoil if you want. I personally think trial characters are not like, they're messed up. It feels like resistances are really wonky on them. It feels like desync is 20 times worse on them. Child characters just really don't feel, like, normal. And it's not just because, like, they're slower or whatever, because child characters are just kind of inherently slightly slower. Like, it's legit just something about CCs doesn't work properly with them. I don't know if that's resistance bug. I don't know if that's desync. I don't know what it is, but it's very strange. Second of all, you have Arsha, which is, like, one of the buggiest things they have ever put into this game. And even worse than Arsha is the Arsha spectating. So, like, half the time when you see some wonky shit going on, like, it might not even be actually there, and it's just the spectator that's bugging out. So
Right.
it's, like, really hard to, like, it's just a concoction of, like, really bad stuff that results in a lot of, like, what the fucking, you know? You're just like, whoa, what? What was that?
You didn't like how every class had Sorcerer's Shards of Darkness floating around them for every single match?
Yeah, because Dr. Positive was on his Sork, right? And so
Yeah.
the spectator client, I guess, literally just keeps your character, but invisible, on their character. So
Right.
even though he was invisible, the Shards of Darkness weren't. And so every single player in the EU just had Shards of Darkness floating around them. Like, okay, that's kind of strange.
He should be on a tamer next time so we could see Hailing just following the players around.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I was like jokingly, like, how funny would it be if mid-fight Inflict just cast Shards of Darkness out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Or Shard Explosion, that'd be great.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Inflict probably did just get the headbutt combo in there. So that's what feels bad for people who are relying on that.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to talk about it, but there are definitely some Zerker combos that are just straight up exploits that I hope to God get fixed soon.
Well, what's interesting is I don't think that one's actually an exploit. I think that one's just poorly...
So which one is that one specifically?
So that is the one... So you can literally headbutt just over and over and over again. The thing is you can cancel your headbutt with Storming Beast, but if you do it at the exact time that you are supposed to, I'm not even going to attempt to do it because I tried for a really long time and I just couldn't get it. I think it's because of FPS issues. You also have to have good FPS. If you get it at the exact moment, you can essentially cancel Headbutt with Storming Beast and then cancel Storming Beast with Headbutt. But both the damage goes off every single time.
Mm.
So basically, you're canceling two abilities with one another over and over and over and over again, and you can do it literally like 5 times a second, if not more, if you get like really, really good at it.
Right.
It's incredibly difficult to pull off, and if you fuck it up, especially against a grab class, it's basically a death sentence. But if you have the FPS for it, and if you are able to pull it off successfully, it is the highest DPS combo in the game. But
Right.
that being said, it's not actually an exploit. Like, there's another combo that Inflict used that is an exploit.
yeah.
It's not that one. That
The-
one actually
the-
isn't an exploit. That's just poor thinking on their part. Like,
Right.
how they didn't think, like, hey, maybe we should add a cooldown to Headbutt and make it do reduced damage off cooldown. Or same thing for Storming Beast. Because neither of them have cooldowns, so it does full damage every single cast. So,
Right.
I'm assuming either next week or the week after, we'll probably see a Headbutt and or Storming Beast now has a cooldown, and it does reduce damage while it's on cooldown. That's probably what they'll do to fix it, because that's just the easiest way to do it.
Will that adversely affect grinding?
No, not
Okay.
at all. Headbutt is not used in grinding, and Storming Beast shouldn't be used in grinding. Storming Beast might affect your PvP damage a little bit if you are in the habit of just spamming Storming Beast a lot after your Frenzied Destroyer. It actually might result in a little bit reduced damage in PvP, but nothing you can't work around, so it's not a big deal.
Right.
I actually hope they do fix it, because I'm tired of people using that as something to complain about with Zerker.
That's
It's
what
like
Ninja
me-
said about Blade Spin, and now look at them.
Me as a Zerker, I don't even use that combo. I'll kill somebody and then they'll start complaining about headbutt combo. I'm like, dude, I can't even use that combo. I didn't even use it against you. Like, why are you even complaining about this?
Yeah.
Because people don't know Zerker skills, so anytime they get killed, they're like, fucking headbutt combo. It's like, no, but okay.
Cool. So I think that about wraps up the actual tournament. I'm really stoked for next week. You were not signed up. Are you signed up for any of the 1v1s?
Nope, I can't take 1v1 seriously because I get enraged.
Okay. So I'm signed up in week 3 and 4. I couldn't. This week was full, and next week I'm not gonna be home. But 3 and 4.
Hey,
I'll be
same,
in,
brother.
so- What?
Wait, are we gonna be able to record Sunday?
What? Next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be home. I'll be home Sunday, but they don't do the tournament Sunday. I'm not gonna be home for
Okay,
the
good.
tournament. Yeah.
I don't know when I'll be back Sunday. My cousin's getting married on Saturday, so I have to go do that.
Oh,
And I
okay.
don't know when I'll be back on Sunday.
All good.
So.
I'll need extra time to upload this video of me grinding anyway. It's gonna probably take 2 weeks. So, but that wraps up for the actual tournament itself. But you did get to guest commentate with Dr. Positive on the EU tournament. Basically, what, most of the day? Like almost all day?
No, like half of it.
Half the day. And how
So
how was that?
The whole thing was like 8 hours. I did like 4 of them. It was fun. I don't think I was very good because it was my first time trying to do. I offered him. So I was supposed to be a guest caster for the NA tournament at some point.
Mhm.
And then I came home from school/work, and I saw he was on his own. And I was like, wait, didn't he have EU people like to do that with him?
Mhm.
And so I looked, and they had said that they couldn't go, unfortunately, Friday. And so
Right.
I just sent him a message, and I was like, hey, dude, do you want some help? I just got home and noticed you're on your own. And he replied with, yes, please. Oh, God, my throat is killing me.
Oh no.
So
Yeah.
he asked me to come on and do analysis, which is something that I haven't done before. I'm usually the play-by-play guy, but the thing is he's the play-by-play guy.
Right.
So I got to try that for the first time, and that was pretty fun. Aside from the fact that analysis gets shit on way more than play-by-play does.
Mhm.
Like, play-by-play basically only gets shit on if you don't know the names of abilities. And because then people are like, oh, he doesn't even know the name, whatever. But, like, analysis gets shit on for, like, literally everything you do. Because there's, no matter what you say, there's going to be somebody who disagrees with you. Even if you say something like, oh, Zerker Q buff is really strong. There's going to be some jabroni in the chat that's like, oh, Zerker Q buff is only up 3 minutes. You know, even though it's something that everybody should be able to agree with, there's always going to be somebody complaining.
Right.
So it was like, it was fun, and I enjoyed, like, being with Dr. Positive. And I actually think that we worked pretty well together, considering we had literally never talked, even in voice, before that moment. I think we did pretty well together. But yeah, analysis is kind of a pain. It's fun, but it's kind of a pain.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Positive is he's so pro, like he's smooth, and like for how long he did it too is like it's it's epic.
Dude, at the end, so anybody who watched the EU finals they could feel how tired we both were, like when they kept drawing out like the Tamer v Maywa match. And it was actually getting frustrated. Like, I was actually getting mad, and I could hear Dr. Positive was kind of getting a little annoyed as well, because he's been doing it for 8 hours, I've been doing it for 4 hours, and here we are watching these people just draw over and over and over, and there's no end in sight. Every time we think it's about to end, somebody pots at the last second, or somebody Vs with 4 seconds left to go, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for us to it was really hard to try to stay not only not hype even, because we weren't really hype. We were both so tired.
Right.
But even positive, I was trying really, really hard to be like, you know, I was trying to play devil's advocate basically every time there was a draw, and I was like, well, you know, FTP's just doing what he thinks he has to do to win. I don't know if I agree with it, but he's doing, you know, what he thinks is the best strategy, so, you know, you can't really blame him for doing what he thinks is best. And in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck this fucking guy. I want this fucking guy to lose so fucking bad. I'm just like raging in the back of my head. I'm like, please just let me get on with my life.
Right.
So it was mixed emotions. But overall, it was a really good experience, and he didn't invite me on today. I guess that's because he had Ippo on with him. Or not today. Wait,
Yesterday.
Yesterday. He didn't have me on yesterday. I guess he had Ippo helping him out, which is chill. Maybe he'll have me on another week. Next weekend, because I can't do it. But maybe for like Flight 3 or 4, or, you know, maybe a 2v2 day. We can do something. I don't know. I'm basically just waiting for him to PM me and being like, hey, you want to do some stuff? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully you get to commentate my match if I don't get knocked out immediately, which I probably
And also,
will.
apparently my mic quality was so bad in that casting that Frosty actually Venmo'd me $60 and made me go out and buy a new mic. So if I sound a wee bit different to everybody, that would be why.
Yeah. His mic could not handle going through compression and going through whatever settings were happening. All the people that I was on Discord with when we were listening to the cast were like, wait, what the hell is going on? Rezlar sounds like he's in my room in a box talking to me like through like an empty paper towel roll.
Which was interesting because Dr. Positive didn't notice it either. He was like, you sounded fine in Discord, so I don't know why it would sound like that. I was like, dude, I don't know. That's just what people were saying. And then I went back and listened afterwards, and I could hear what you guys were saying. It sounded like my mic was like across the room from me or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what was up with it, but it was really weird.
Your mic was like a hidden camera show mic that you weren't supposed to know is there. Like, does Rezlar know he's being recorded right now?
Yeah, right, dude. So... Yeah, I got a new mic now, so if I sound a little bit different, that would be why. I got myself a mic stand. It's super fancy.
Oh, did you?
It's not really.
How's it like mounted?
Oh, no, not like the one that you were, not the super fancy one that you were showing me.
But what'd you end up getting?
No, nothing. I'm just saying the base stand.
Oh, like, the one it comes with?
Yeah, like the microphone is no longer attached to my head.
Oh,
so,
got you. Okay, yes, I see what
it's literally sitting on my desk in front of me. So, yeah, it's. I suppose that's what the cool kids do these days. I don't understand it, but whatever. Yeah, I can't buy a mic stand, Frosty. You haven't Venmo'd me more money yet, so I can't go buy one.
For sure, dude. You gotta wait. You have an allowance, all right?
Allowance. I do get paid tomorrow, but the unfortunate thing is I think most of that money is going to go towards this wedding thing that's happening next weekend. So
you mean pearls?
I wish. I wish. So, we'll see. Hopefully this microphone isn't picking up too much of my clicks, or if it is, it'll be canceled out in the noise gating effect afterwards. But we'll see.
Should we get it out? I don't hear it too much.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, we're trying to improve, like little by little. That's all it is. You know, we just want the best for you guys, the listeners, so your ears don't get blown out.
Yo.
Cool. So moving on. Congrats on that. That's awesome. You did a really good job for your first time. I thought it was awesome. And I felt like I know it's just like 1,500 viewers or whatever, but I was like, look at that, Rezlar's famous. He's on TV.
Yeah, dude, right? Mom, I'm on the TV.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Cool. So moving on to darker things. That's it for the BSL. Next week, same thing. We'll cover it again a little bit. Just talk about the winners. If you haven't signed up, go sign up. There's a wait list, but people drop out quite a bit. So if you want to participate, go sign up and do that. Because, yeah, we need to see a few more faces. I'm excited to see who's in the next bracket. I know some of the same people will be in there. You can participate more than once, but I'm sure there will be a bunch of new faces as well. So, yep, looking forward to it. Same time, same place next week.
Hold that thought real quick. You can keep talking. I gotta go do something really fast. I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to move on. Let's talk about something a little bit more on the negative side. It's supposed to be positive, but ended up being negative. So, I'm not going to go too much into detail because this is one of those things where it really, really affects a lot of people personally in a very negative way, positive way. People have super strong opinions about it. I'm not as opinioned about it. I'm still kind of playing the wait and see approach. But on Wednesday morning, when we got our patch, right after the patch notes came out, Kakao announced that they had a ban wave of 899 accounts. And on the surface, that's really awesome because Shadow Arena specifically has been getting ridiculous with hackers, so a lot of people are not having a good time. So it was kind of a good thing that they banned people. However, they broke it down. They said 899 accounts were banned, 215 were active in Shadow Arena, 572 were using speed hacks and other hacks in the main world. 112 of the bans were fish bots, and 614 of the total bans were trial accounts. So that's the numbers they gave us. The problem is, shortly after the ban wave came out and people started waking up that morning or getting home from work or whatever, logging on to BDO for the first time, a lot of people who had not been using hacks or didn't cheat in any way found that their accounts were banned. Kakao came out, I believe, the next day with a post saying that they wrongfully banned a few hundred people, several hundred people. I believe the number was 200, but I couldn't find the number going back to get the exact number. But they said that a couple hundred accounts were wrongfully banned due to, quote, an error in data, end quote. So,
which is pretty hilarious.
which is funny and sad, but whatever the case, it was in that moment I thought to myself, well, like, that's shitty. That's a shitty situation, especially for a lot of these people who post on Reddit, because they get shit on. Like, if you come out on Reddit right now and you say, hey, I was wrongfully banned, I wasn't cheating, the community kind of jumps on you because, I mean, people just kind of hate cheaters and they just assume everyone's just trying to get out of it and get their account because it sucks to be banned even if you were cheating. And we've had a history of people coming out and saying they didn't cheat, and then proof came out later on that showed that they did. So there's a lot of backlash and back and forth, and it's kind of unfortunate. So people were kind of being wrongfully mistreated, and being made fun of and laughed at and called names because they were saying they were wrongfully banned when it turned out they actually were wrongfully banned and got their accounts back. And then the next day, there were still a bunch of people complaining that they were wrongfully banned and that something needed to be done. And then Kakao came out again and said they unbanned another wave of accounts that they had wrongfully banned. And in that same post, they also said they then banned an additional 376 more confirmed hackers. So, the whole thing has kind of become a mess. So they sent an apology letter out on their website addressing those wrongfully banned. They said they're going to try their best to improve the procedures to help prevent this in the future, and that they will send compensation out to the people affected. And yeah, I believe there's still people that are saying they're wrongfully banned, or maybe they haven't logged in yet or whatever, but hopefully this gets resolved. Like I said in the beginning, I don't have too many strong opinions on it outside of the fact that it's really shitty. They need to do a better job about it, and be way more communicative with the community and let them know. I mean, let them know kind of obviously not like all of your secrets on what you're doing to ban people, but there's got to be some sort of like, now everyone's just afraid that they're going to get banned for doing nothing wrong. So
ban roulette.
Yeah, ban roulette. The ban roulette term is going around. So, Rezlar, what are your thoughts on this whole episode going on here?
It's pretty funny.
What? I guess in some sense it is a little bit funny, but these are people's accounts, man. Like, if you've been playing for 2 years and spent like $3,000 on the game, it's not funny.
Yeah, but it's not my account, so it's pretty funny.
Oh my god.
No,
Dude.
it's so okay. There's a lot of things. First of all, okay. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I get to be negative Nancy on this.
All right.
This is like the most retarded thing ever because they banned a bunch of accounts, and then a bunch of accounts got wrongly banned because of an error in data. Omega lol, whatever that means.
It was a glitch.
It was a glitch in the system, and then they ban more accounts or whatever, and then they have to unban more accounts, whatever, etc., etc. So they come out in that newsletter and they say like, "Hey, we fucked up, we're fixing it, and we know ban waves aren't a permanent solution, yada yada yada, whatever." First of all, ban waves are not a permanent solution. I get they already said that, but it needs to be stressed because that's all they've ever fucking done is ban waves for like the past like 3 years. I remember back in the day when GMs would literally walk around in-game. I literally watched a GM ban a dude on the spot at fucking Hex Sanctuary for botting his account. That doesn't happen anymore. It's like either they don't care, they can't be bothered, maybe they feel like Bandwave is more efficient or something. I don't know. But it definitely feels like it worked a lot better whenever there were GMs in the game watching the hackers and banning them, or the botters, whatever, and banning them as it was happening, rather than now.
Well,
second of all,
now
wrongfully...
In fairness to them, after this whole ordeal, they do, or at least they said they do, currently have active CMs and GMs watching like Shadow Arena matches and banning people on the spot. And our good friend Mina has actually said that he has seen it happen post patch now a couple times, where someone is literally infinitely teleporting around and then all of a sudden their character just disappears and they're not in the match anymore.
Well, that's good. And that's honestly like that's what needs to happen.
Right.
There needs to be more of a like grassroots, just like in the game world, like seeing it happen firsthand and then dealing with it right there. So I'm glad that they're doing that, even if it's, you know, only for a limited time or only in Shadow Arena or whatever. Like, that's good. They're returning back to what they used to do, which not only, I think, works better, honestly, but it also makes the community feel better, right? Because you see it happening and you're like, oh, they actually do give a shit. They're actually trying to do something about it. It just makes you feel better. It makes you feel more, like, I don't know, at ease, I guess. You're more like they actually give a shit, you know? Second, people being wrongfully banned. I don't know, I couldn't even begin to imagine what an error in data means. But I'm almost 100% certain. I'm like 99.9% certain that is an error in human.
They fat-fingered it. They fat-fingered the number, dude.
Yeah, and human needs to do a better job. So I don't know who human is, but human needs to do a better job. And you can blame it on an error in data all you want. Probably a human error. So
I blame Facebook.
Do better. And, you know, I don't know what compensation consists of, but hopefully it's more than a fucking GM lucky box, all I'm gonna say. And then thirdly, the Manwave didn't even do much. They're still hackers. Literally just earlier today, I watched someone say that he still can't play Shadow Arena because there's at least 2 hackers in every game. So it's like, okay, you banned so many accounts, great. It's still an issue. Still need to keep on it, which, again, if they're, you know, actually in Shadow Arena games, banning people as it's happening, that's a really good first step. And they just need to stick on it and figure out, you know, a way to deal with it as best they can. So, you know, figure out a better solution, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Which is a really easy thing to say when you're not the one who's doing it, I understand. But it's just what has to happen. So, I don't know. And in my opinion, you should just go full Blizzard on people and just ban their fucking ISP. Like, fuck you kids.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, or not ISP, just IP. Ban their IP address. That's what Blizzard does when people cheat in Overwatch. They just ban IP addresses.
Yeah, it didn't even dawn on me that you said ISP. That would be hilarious. Like,
Yeah, dude, ban Comcast from playing
yeah,
video.
if you're a subscriber to Comcast, you can thank this guy. He got you all banned. Yeah, they got to do something. I mean, it's.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that's also really, really annoying me about this.
Mm-hmm.
They've only started caring about these hackers because of Shadow Arena. Like that's
see, no, I'm not. I can't go that far because they had these ban waves long before Shadow Arena, like long before.
They did, but they happened like very infrequently.
No.
Very rarely did they happen.
They had a good stretch of like 3 months where they did a ban wave every 2 to 3 weeks. Remember, for the silver farmers and like the speed hackers and the history hackers, like that was a thing that actually happened. There was no Shadow Arena. They don't just care because of Shadow Arena. Like maybe they care more, but they definitely don't just care because of that. They definitely were doing stuff before. The fish spotters before. Like Amora X and all them, they got banned for fish spotting. It had nothing to do with Shadow Arena.
Yeah, but I'm not going to point any names, but there's been I know several people who have either I've seen hacking / botting, or they've claimed to, and they're still not banned.
Well, I'm not saying they've caught everyone. I'm not defending their process or anything like that. I was only pointing out that they definitely have been trying to ban people and clean up the economy because of it, but... Yeah,
I suppose.
No.
But okay, so bringing up my issue number 2, they literally, when they ban people, they literally say, "Please come back." That is my other issue with it. There should be no, "We hope you come back and don't hack." There should be a, "You hacked in this game, so fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. We don't fucking care about you. You're a little piece of shit loser who in a casual video game decides that he has to cheat because he's so much of a loser that he can't actually play the game fairly. See you later, kid. Go enjoy Minecraft or whatever shit you can freely mod in all you want because you're so bad at it." Like, that is what should happen. It shouldn't be a friendly little, "Oh, we banned your account, but, you can always just make a new one and then come back later." No. Again, you should straight up Blizzard these kids. IP ban. Say screw you and everything you stand for. If you want to play this game, go find a new IP. Like, that's what needs to happen. It shouldn't be it should not be a friendly process at all. I have literally zero respect for people who cheat in literally any video game ever, especially non-competitive ones. At least in competitive ones, like if you're cheating in CS:GO, like, I can understand it at least. You're like, "Oh, I want to be really, really good at CS:GO, but, I just can't make it happen, so I use wall hacks or whatever." Like, you're still a piece of shit, but at least I get the end goal. I don't really understand why people cheat in super casual games like BDO, where it's just like, you're cheating by speed hacking in Histria. Like, cool, dude, I guess. Like, that doesn't even guarantee anything. Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, dude, he's the best because he grinds super quick in Histria." Like, no one's gonna say, like, "Oh, dude, he's really, really good because he has 300 AP."
I need to interject here. This has gone on long enough. You cannot sit here and call my favorite esport a casual game, okay? You take it back right now. You just spent 12 hours watching the BDO esports channel, dude. These people are hacking so they could get better at PvP. Duh.
Mal, dude, in the Equalize Gear tournament, right? Listen, I like what, Dr. Positive and everyone that's helping at the BDO esports team is doing, and I hope they keep doing it, but calling it an esport is kind of silly. This is a very casual game. If WoW couldn't be an esport, this game can't be an esport either. That's all I'm gonna say. So,
well,
feels bad.
Again, now I agree with your first premise, but then your little comparison there was horrible because WoW was tab target. It can't be an esport because it was RNG chance to miss and block.
Well, but I think it's a fair comparison though, because WoW tried to be an esport at the height of its popularity. And it failed. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's an MMO and not a competitive game. It's a casual game. I think you can say the exact same thing for BDO. At the end of the day, it's just not a competitive game.
But the difference
even if players
is
like to play competitively.
Historically, fighting games have been considered competitive games, and if there's an equalized, now I'm not saying it is at this point now, but they're obviously moving towards it. And I'm not saying it's an esport or that it ever will have any success in esports, but it does have a fighting game aspect to it, and if it's equalized, I don't see any reason why they can't like go towards that direction. At least maybe not become an esport, because it's kind of an older game now, so it'd be hard, but I don't see any reason why it can't be labeled competitive down the road if you're doing like trial character equalized PvP in a fighting game.
I suppose you're correct. I suppose you're correct, but at the end of the day, nobody is hacking in the quote-unquote competitive part of the game, which is the PvP.
You haven't been to an arcade in a long time, dude. Everyone's hacking in Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, dude, that's fine. Not in this game. It doesn't happen, except for in the fucking balls of Hystria, where somebody's just instantly killing people, or in Shadow Arena. Like, those aren't the competitive, like, scenes that you're talking about. You're talking about PvP, Equalized Gear, Arena Varsha. Nobody's hacking in there. Well, except for the trolls that like to drop Sasha off of the, clouds.
Yeah, no, and I'm 100% with you. And like, if you're hacking, I feel in any game, even Counter-Strike or whatever, unless you're on like a private server with friends or something. But if you're hacking, like, yeah, you're just a piece of shit. A lazy. Like the game is. If you have to hack at that point, it's like you're not enjoying the game for what it is. So probably not the game for you. Maybe play something a little easier, like WoW. That has a real esports division.
Dude, go play Minecraft.
Competitive Minecraft. Or Trove. If you've never tried Trove, that's where you need to be if you're a hacker. Play Trove. Okay, I think that's that. Moving on. Yeah, it sucks. Sorry for all the people that got wrongfully banned. Hopefully all of you get your accounts back. It looks like a lot of you are, if not all of you, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully everyone gets their account banned. Kind of scary times. It would suck to be wrongfully banned. I know that. But yeah. Moving on.
Maybe I should check my other accounts to see if they got banned. I might be banned and I don't even know it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mina's not banned.
Yeah, with how much he hacks in Shadow Arena, wow.
Well, just with how much he's blocked from buying pearls and stuff all the time. Sure, he's on a list somewhere.
Dude, Mina keeps telling me, like, if they banned off of claims alone, he would be instantly banned, because everyone he kills in Shadow Arena says that he's hacking.
Oh, God.
Which is actually, like, probably a good 50% of people that I've killed in Shadow Arena have claimed I'm hacking. Yeah. Like, I just walk up, one combo them because I got RNG carried and I got a Zarka really early on, and then they're like, wow, nice hacks! I'm like, it's not hacks, dude. Just got lucky. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. I think that's all we have to say about that. We'll if there's any follow-up changes or news or whatever next week, we'll talk about it. Otherwise, most likely we will not. So we'll see. Moving on. So we had a
user
user suggestion, right? I think that's what this next thing was that we thought was pretty good. Do you know who?
Let me look in the Discord real quick. Shout out to the Discord. Make sure you join it. Come join us. It was... Who was it? Who the hell was it? Oh, it was Polnism. Polnism?
Is that someone we know? I know they've commented before.
I don't think it's somebody we know. I think the only reason we know his name is because he's commented before. Although he hasn't commented lately. Dude, drop a comment, brother. Where you been? You're in the Discord, but drop a comment, man. The hell?
So yeah, his suggestion was... I have it written here. So he was asking... It would be cool to hear you and I talk about what keeps us motivated to grind. How do we motivate ourselves? And would we enjoy a PvE/PvP tower? Which I think...
Wait, was that him? I thought that was someone else.
Oh, was that someone else that did the tower thing?
That was somebody else. That was SEOH. SEOH.
Okay.
SEO.
So we'll get to the tower thing after, but the motivation thing. If you have if you want to give a little bit on this, how do you stay motivated to do your 1 hour a day? And
I don't.
uh-oh.
There you go. Easy clap.
What do you mean you don't? You don't what? You don't grind?
I don't grind an hour every day. Sometimes I grind for 8 hours. Sometimes I grind for 0. It just kind of depends on what I want to do, honestly. I think as far as motivation goes, if you're trying to stay motivated, the important thing is to keep the goal in mind. My biggest issue with motivation is that I'm constantly swapping goals that I want to reach, or I just don't have any at all, and I'm just kind of like, whatever. So whenever I don't have a particular goal in mind, my progression slows down to a snail's pace. But if I have a particular goal that I want to reach, like when I was first reaching soft cap, I did it very quickly because that was what I wanted to do. And it helped that I had to do it by a certain time. So I was like, I gotta do it, I gotta make it happen. So yeah, you just gotta keep goals in mind if you're struggling with motivation. With me in particular, like in where I'm at gear-wise, I'm like kind of whatever. I'm like, I could go in any direction, and that's really bad because I don't really have a particular goal in mind. Part of me wants Tet Ogre, part of me wants Tet Crescent, part of me wants Pin Helmet. So there's like a lot of goals that I want to reach, which is not good. You should only have one at a time and then work through them in the way from easiest to hardest, basically. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think I saw this with you when you were trying to get your crescent ring.
Yeah, when I was trying to reach soft cap, yeah.
Yeah, you were pretty motivated. And I've definitely seen the other side of you where you basically do nothing.
Yeah, what's up? Since I got soft cap, literally all of my gains have been because fuck it moments. Tech Crescent, I was trying to enhance. Nothing was working. I was trying to enhance weapons for another character. Nothing was going. Was getting really frustrated. Decided, screw this. I'm just going to blow up a Crescent because this stack is a decent stack for a Tech Crescent.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting it. I was like, that worked. One day, I just randomly decided to go out to Vel. Second time ever being out to Vel. Just happened across a Vel's heart. Wasn't planning on it, just decided to do it because why not? And then the Bassi was just because I was bored and I had a lot of medals and I was like, if I blow this up, I can just buy belts for like 3 months, so I don't really care. And then it ended up going through. That's literally all my gains have been because fuck it moments, basically.
Right. Yeah, so for me, I think that I actually enjoy the game pretty thoroughly. I enjoy grinding. I enjoy PvP. I enjoy Node Wars, and for all that stuff, I'm kind of constantly trying to keep my gear updated. But yeah, I mean, kind of like Rezlar, I guess. I try to set goals. I don't stoop into the doing nothing for too long. I think the last few weeks is the least amount of effort I've put into actually progressing. Mostly because I don't
Been
know.
spending too much time on the Division 2.
I've been playing Division 2, I've been playing Anthem, I've been trying to branch out and play other games because I've played nothing but BDO for 3 years. But the irony of it is, I kind of lost a little bit of motivation to play BDO, and then I was playing these other games, and now every time I play BDO, it's actually a lot more fun. Like coming back,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. But so lately, I've been grinding a lot more. But yeah, I can just grind, man. As long as I have someone to talk to on Discord or in voice, I can just autopilot my brain and grind all day. So
Yeah, I think the other game thing is important. Like, I personally, I just don't get how these people grind like for like 8 hours a day every day. Like, that's insanity to me. I guess it's different if you're like a streamer or something, because it's kind of like your job and you're interacting with people or like whatever else. Like, I kind of get that, but the people who just do it and like they don't hang out in Discord or they don't stream or they're like, yeah, I just watched a bunch of movies all day. I'm like, dude, how do you do that? Like, what? That's crazy.
yeah,
Like, I play a lot of other games. I play like Spellbreak a lot. I've been playing Deceit a lot here recently. Play a lot of Smite. Play a lot of Paladins. Like, a lot of different games that I invest time into when I'm not playing BDO with other groups of friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big part of what has kept me going for, like, a really long time. Like, since I've been playing since launch. Is, like, ever since I stopped playing League of Legends in, like, 2015, I've never been a one-game person. And I don't think I could ever do that again. Because while I enjoyed my time playing League of Legends, because it was the only game I ever played, I actually grew to really hate it. And now, like, I think back to, like, or, like, I'll be bored and I'm like, maybe I could go play League of Legends. And then, like, I look at the launcher or whatever and I'm just like, nah, I think I'm a pass. Like, I've just grown to hate the game because it's literally all I did for, like, 4 years, you know?
Right.
So I think it's important to, like, play other games like you were saying and just, like, branch out. And it makes you kind of appreciate BDO a little bit more. Or, like, the time you spend in BDO a little bit more. It also makes you feel like you can't waste time.
Right. Goals are important too, man. Honestly.
Yeah. Like, I log in now. Like, I have a set of weapons for my wizard. My wizard is literally soft cap right now. He's got tri-weapons. He's soft cap AP with the gear I have right now. He's literally 253 AP. I could go out and grind at a lot of places with him right now. But I feel bad when I do that, because I feel like I'm losing, like, money and I'm wasting time. Like, I'm basically in the mode of where, like, if I'm on this game, I'm either PvPing for enjoyment or I'm grinding for money. And grinding for money does not include grinding on my soft cap wizard. It's purely grinding on my Zerker. So that's, like, the only two things I do, basically, aside from, like, little event stuff here or there or whatever.
Right.
If I was spending, like, 6 hours a day on this game, it'd probably be a lot different. I'd probably feel like I get a lot of time to kill. I don't have to be, like, doing something constantly or whatever, you know?
Right. I think having goals too is really good. Like, I find if there's something I want, especially if it costs silver now, since you can pretty much buy everything with silver, just kind of slowly chipping away at the amount of silver that you need is kind of nice motivation. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if you don't enjoy the game, you don't enjoy the game. Don't force yourself to play it. Definitely play other games and then play BDO less. That's the cool thing about it. It's like you can slowly make silver over time, just AFK fishing with your game in the tray and playing something else. So,
Or you can make money really quickly over time by fish spotting and then get banned.
yeah, or not fish spotting and then get banned.
Yeah, right?
That also works.
What was that dude? I don't remember if he actually ended up being correct or if he was lying, but there's someone on Reddit who said he acted like a fish bot, like, over the course of a weekend or something, and he got banned.
Right. That was the well, that guy was kind of countering your idea pretty hard, or trying to anyway. The idea of, like, because he was saying they don't have software. Their only means of banning people is just in-game watching people, like, hack in real time and trying to determine if that's a hack or not. And yeah, he said he was fake fish spotting and the mods fell for it, but then if I remember correctly, that guy ended up, it turned out he was in, like, 2 different fishbot discords and all sorts of crap. So yeah, that was a
Yeah.
sort of a yikes.
If you actually think that the only way they can tell if you're hacking is by watching you, you're actually, like, brain dead. Like, I can guarantee you there's ways, they have things set up. They might not be good, they might not be perfect, but they have ways to know if you're hacking or not.
Mm-hmm.
They may not catch everybody, and they may catch the wrong thing. You know, here's the thing you gotta keep in mind: every piece of software is written by a human. Therefore, every piece of software is just as open to error as if it was a human.
Yeah.
So, it's like, it's not perfect. It might not even be good, but to say that it doesn't exist is kind of silly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with. And I mean, To White Knight a little bit, even though you just did that for me. To White Knight a little bit, like other games I've played, specifically Korean MMOs, have been like egregiously bad at catching botters specifically. Blade and Soul actually would have on multiple channels a train of hundreds of the exact same class with random letters for names farming the area in a straight line where it looked like your game was glitching out. And I'm just like, how do you not know these people are bots? And you hit them, you knock them down, they don't say anything or do anything, they just get right back in line.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So I don't know. Yeah. At least it's not like that. But it was getting pretty bad in Shadow Arena. I mean, I don't know myself, but according to people who play that awful game mode. Yeah, and then so the other person, what was the name? It was a shorter name.
Seo?
Seo.
I don't know how to say it. It's Seoh.
He had suggested what we would think about a PvE or PvP tower, where you kind of climb and the difficulty goes up, like the higher level you are. I would love that, personally, in both modes, PvE and PvP. They had that in Blade and Soul, and it was a lot of fun. And it actually was just called the tower for PvE. I don't know if they had anything like that for PvP, but at least in PvE, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Some sort of like an MKX Mortal Kombat thing, like how they have the tower that you kind of like work through or whatever.
Right.
That would be really, really fun. If they did it, my only issue is that like the AI in this game is so bad that like I don't know if you actually could do like a PvE tower and have it be actually good.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking seriously the same thing.
So I think like, I don't know. In a PvP tower, I think it would be good, but it would just be like a ladder, which is what people have been asking for a really long time. So yeah, PvP tower, aka ladder. Let's go. Let's get this shit on the road. Like,
well, what if they did, even with bad AI, what if you show up in a room, like level 1, you show up in a room and you have to fight, it's close quarters, like maybe the size of the small area in Battle Arena, right? And you start on one side, and then 30 bandits mobs spawn, you kill the mobs, then you go to level 2, and then it's 30 Sausins mobs, and then 30 Nagas, and whatever, and you kind of go through, and then it's 30 Histria mobs, and then after you beat that level on like level 10, now level 11 it starts over, but the mobs have like twice the HP, or they move faster and do more damage, and it just like gets harder and harder. That could be kind of fun, like waves of mobs versus a boss fight, since they don't have an AI or a good AI. That could be interesting, especially if there was good loot.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like that would get boring very, very quickly, honestly.
More boring than circling an area and killing the same mobs for 8 hours a day?
I mean, arguably.
Well, look at trees, though. Like, trees you don't even circle.
At least when you're in open world, there's a chance somebody comes and fight you, and you're like, oh, some spice. Ooh, you know? I don't know.
No, that's a good aspect. You're right. People can randomly show up in your tower and just murder you in the middle of it.
Here's what I think. I just came up with this idea. And they would never do something like this because it would be far too complicated and they don't care. What if you could do something where you could actually have like a guild tower? So like you set up a tower in your guild and then other guilds can challenge you basically. And you have like this guild tower v guild tower type deal, right? Where it's like, you have somebody, so say like us as Hex, and then you guys as Black Rose. Horrible fight to happen, but let's just use for the sake of an example.
Could work.
And then us and Hex, we choose 10 people. And those 10 people are like the 10 floor bosses. You get what I'm saying? So like at level 1, we put kind of somebody who like maybe isn't super good, like they know what they're doing, but they're not super good. They're just okay. You know, they know how to play their class and they're fairly geared. we put like Mina or something. And then, all the way up to 10, where we have somebody who is, like, really good at, their class. They really understand their class. They're pretty geared. Like, we have, like, Cine up there or something, right? 281 AP Archer, pretty damn good Archer at that.
Right.
And then you guys do the same. You have somebody at level 1 all the way up to level 10. And then you have people, like, go fight. And then however far they get rewards based off of that. And the guild whose tower you're competing in also gets rewards based on how far they get. Except for it's not how far they get, it's how far they don't get. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. I'm picking
Like,
up
that
where
would,
you're putting
I
it.
think that would be kind of an interesting thing to do, but would be super complicated and it would never happen.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a really fun thing, honestly, if you could do something like that. Just like more. I think the moral of the story here is people want more avenues of PvP, and people want their PvP to actually be meaningful, not just in a sense of pride and accomplishment. To quote, who was it? EA that said that stupid shit whenever. I think it was EA with Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2. They were talking about unlocking characters. After playing like hundreds of hours, you unlock a character and you get a sense of pride and accomplishment. It's like that's not good enough. People want their PvP to actually mean something, and most of the time that something in this game is silver, especially since you don't have a ladder. So it's like people want more avenues of PvP and they want it to be meaningful. So either add a ladder or make it a silver incentive and give us more avenues to PvP. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I'm in. That would be cool. That whole system sounds fun. A GVG that's based on small scale or 1v1 in general would be awesome instead of utter chaos. Yeah.
I mean, I just literally came up with that on the spot, thinking back to like the tower concept, stealing that from Mortal Kombat, because that's what Mortal Kombat towers are, right? It has like they don't necessarily get harder, but theoretically, I think the idea is you go through a bunch of challengers until you get to the very top, which is typically harder than any of the people you fought previously. So if you take kind of that same concept, you could apply it into BDO, specifically into guilds, and you could do something like that. That would be kind of interesting and fun, but I don't know. There's lots of ideas that are just thrown out by members like every single day, like members of the community, players of the game. And it's like, take any of them, man. Like, they're all decent. Just take it, edit it a little bit if you need to, if you feel you have to or whatever, and put it in the game. Because people just want to fight more. That's really just what it is. People want more than RBF, this giant, like, fuckfest that's just confusing. The score system is terrible. There's no balance whatsoever. Team battle that nobody uses because it's kind of lame, even though the concept was okay, I guess. And then battle arena, which you actually lose money by doing it, even if only slightly. Like, people want more avenues of PvP and they want it to be meaningful. So, I don't know. Set it up.
Let's do it. And then last but not least, speaking of Mortal Kombat, someone sent this in. I don't have it pulled up. I don't have the guy's name. Do you?
I can. Give me 1 second. Sarok.
Sarok. All right.
He says specifically what he says is the BDO classes become characters in a Mortal Kombat game. Which ones place top 3 and what are their fatalities?
Yeah. So hold on, let me actually find this post.
Yeah, because we both already replied to this, or you replied to it fully. I replied to your reply in the Discord. Shout out to the Discord. Join that shit.
Yeah. This was under discussion?
Topic suggestion.
Topic suggestion. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I said Landzerker and Meiwa. The land fatality would be called Twisted Calamity, where she throws her blades with ribbons around her opponent over and over and then starts spinning them. And as they are spinning, their skin is being torn off until they are just bones. That would be her fatality. Zerker, which one is kind of lame, but I just loved the name. the Zerker, and his fatality would be called Shot Seen Around the World. That's an homage to LeBron and his famous game against Orlando, which I'm sure you already knew that, Rezlar. He grabs his opponent. He grabs his opponent and literally smashes him head first into his cannon arm, and then shoots. And the camera zooms out, and the guy's corpse travels like a large distance. I don't know, maybe to another continent. And then the Meiwa's frozen would be called Frozen Pincushion, where she like slams her spear into the ground. Ice slowly creeps over her opponent until they're completely frozen, and then the Meiwa stabs it like a million times. It's like a bunch of holes in it, and then it just crumbles apart into nothing. That would be dope. And I agree, fatalities need to be put in this game somehow.
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting. To see a crossover like that. That would be funny. I think Zerkers. I don't have a name for it because I can't think of cheesy names off the top of my head.
All right, I'll come up with a name for you.
Zerkers definitely needs to be. I commented. I don't know if you read it, Frosty. It needs to be 2 slashes with the axe. So like, you won't be able to see it unless you're watching the video. But like the side attack here, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like a slice in a slice on the knees, and then a slice in the torso. Have like their guts falling out, like typical modern or Mortal Kombat style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like slash and then slash, and then it would be a frenzied destroyer right into like their collar, and it like slams them down onto their knees, right? It doesn't kill them. It slams them down to their knees. They got like these deep cuts. Now their arms are like kind of like hanging, like dangling off to the side a little bit, Again, typical Mortal Kombat goriness. And then you see the Zerker swap to the cannon, and you see him just reel back and start charging the Ancient Wave. And then right when the dude, the enemy, realizes that, like, oh shit, like, I'm dead as fuck, he just, like, blasts him with the Ancient Wave split shot, and there's just, like, nothing but, like, a skid mark, like, just a black mark, and just, like, dust, like, where their body was, basically. Like, that's what I think it should be. That would be, like, sick as fuck animation to watch, honestly. That would be so cool.
So the ability would be called Welcome to Skid Row.
Are Mortal Kombat fatalities just inherently like super cheesy?
They are. They're really cheesy. No, they are. They're like pretty cheesy.
So I haven't played a lot of Mortal Kombat in my time, so I don't really know that much about the game, honestly. Aside from the goriness of it, the fatalities are always super gory.
I haven't played a whole lot either. I mean, I played 1, 2, and 3 when they were new. That shows how old I am. And then I played a little bit randomly of Mortal Kombat. Actually, I played Mortal Kombat X or 10, and I also played a little bit of there was this random one that was Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. So you could be like Batman or the Joker or Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah, Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
Yeah, it was weird. Anyway.
But also I think Warrior would be pretty fun to play, and I think his fatality could be like he paddle slaps him. He does what's it called? Ankle break, where he like kind of spins around like backwards, and he kind of like slashes at their shins, basically, like makes them kind of like fall down, stumble down, and then he paddle slaps him on the head to like disorient him, and then like the opponent is like seeing 3 warriors in front of him because he's all like disoriented or whatever, like dizzy and all that shit, and he sees 3 warriors just charging up this reckless blow, and then just whoom. It straight, like, cuts their entire body, like, in half. Their top half just, like, flies off. There's, like, blood spewing everywhere. That'd be sick.
I have the name for this. You ready?
Yeah, give it to me.
It would be... It's gonna be hard to say with a straight face. It would be row, row, row your boat gently till you scream.
Is it that specifically because I called it paddle slap?
Yeah! Well, that and seeing the 3 warriors is creepy, dude. But mostly the paddle slap. I just was thinking of an oar.
Also, I feel like ninjas would have to be nothing personal, kid. They like do some shit and then, the stereotypical like stamps the shit out of him, butch slashes him up or whatever, and all of a sudden they disappear and they appear behind him and then finish him off. And it has to be called nothing personal, kid. It just has to be. I don't care about the specifics of the fatality. They just have to disappear and then reappear behind him at some point, and it has to be called nothing personal, kid.
Yeah. I'm with you. Why? Actually, I'm not with you. Maybe I'm not with you. Why?
Because of the copy pasta, man. Have you never seen that copy pasta?
Maybe.
Or that meme where it's like, appears behind you, nothing personal, kid, stabs you, or, whatever.
I don't.
You never seen that copy pasta / I mean, there's been memes, there's been copy pasta. It's been around for a really long time. It's supposed to be making fun of, like, edgy fedora-wearing teens, basically.
I don't watch Joe Never Fails' stream.
Okay, whoa. Just throwing out a punch out of left field.
I don't watch that stream, so I probably would have missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think that about does it for today's show.
We're gonna end it on shitting on Joe Never Fails for some reason.
How is that shitting? I just haven't had a chance to catch the stream.
Alright, whatever. We'll call it there. Frosty, say what you gotta say to the peoples.
Alright. We need your guys' support. We gotta get viewership up. We want to grow this thing, not shrink this thing. Please tell your friends, tell your kids, tell your wives. We need to get the value pack out there. I am 100% going to put up a Reddit post tomorrow regarding the podcast once it's all up and released and everything. And hopefully we don't get kicked for that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What?
Sell out.
I got to do it, dude. Some people forgot we exist, Also, I got to mention in there that you special guest casted on the BSL, make you're such an integral part of this community, dude.
I don't think anybody cares or knows who I am.
Yeah,
literally the number one comment that I kept seeing about me, like in the chat as I was casting, was, "Is that McCann's?" I was like, "What?" Apparently I sounded like McCann's. I don't know.
Do you?
On the stream, apparently I did. I don't know. Maybe McCann's sounds like he's in the back of people's rooms. I never thought he did, but apparently some people think that. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, so make sure you share. Viewership has been down, obviously, since Reddit, because people relied on Reddit or whatever to know when we're uploading all that good stuff. Frosty wants to kind of resume, not posting on Reddit, but
just remind people a little bit.
Yeah, resuming kind of the notification, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's also,
it used to be.
It's not completely down. Like we've actually gained quite a few subscribers and listeners through other means, but definitely the viewership, I think, could be higher.
Yeah, we've actually gained quite a few subscribers since we stopped posting on Reddit, which is nice. I'm glad that people saw or realized that subscribing on YouTube would be the only way to know that we're updating, or joining the Discord. Know that we're uploading now that we're not posting on Reddit anymore, so that's good. I think we're quite a ways over 200 subscribers now, which is awesome. On YouTube alone, that's not counting like SoundCloud, Castbox, whatever else. So that's really dope. Really glad that people are enjoying the show, but Frosty will start doing, whatever he decides to do as far as Reddit goes. I'm not gonna bother with it. He can do whatever he needs to do.
I'm gonna risk our lives for one last ad.
Risk your Reddit account. But that's gonna be it for today's podcast, guys. We appreciate you all hanging out with us, listening to another episode of us dicking around like we normally do, pretending like we know what we're talking about half the time. Make sure you leave a comment, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and or whatever podcasting app you are listening to us on, SoundCloud, Castbox, whatever. Make sure you join the Discord. Man, we're probably gonna do something this week at some point. Not sure what BR's off days are, but we'll see about doing something this week maybe. As far as this weekend goes, we should still be uploading on Monday. Kind of got to play it by ear. If I end up not being able to record Sunday, then we will let everybody know that it will be delayed one day, but hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't think it will, but just letting everybody know early, it might be getting delayed one day. If it does, you will know first and foremost if you're in the Discord. Actually, that's the only way you'll know. So join the Discord. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this podcast, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week.
You know you're mine, and here I